So another week has gone by so quickly. Here we are all together again. By the way, last night we had quite a dramatic event take place. We had lots of thunder and lightning all around this area, and apparently there is going to be some more later today. Maybe during today's live stream, who knows? Today's questions include: have you ever been in an embarrassing situation? What's the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you? Sadly, there is no Mr. Steve today. He is not here. But, of course, I will be here, and so will you, with the live chat. After all, it's a Sunday afternoon here in the UK. It's just after 2 o'clock, and this is Live English. Here we go again. Oh my goodness, is it Sunday again already? I can't believe that it's already Sunday. I really can't believe it. It seems completely impossible. It really does. Oh, hello there. Hi everybody. I appeared as if by magic. How are you today? Are you okay? I hope so. Are you happy? I really hope so. Here we go again. It is Sunday and it is Live English all the way. I hope you can hear me okay, and I hope you can see me. I have had such a busy morning. I've been doing lots of things, lots of technical, boring things today. Very boring indeed. Now I'm hoping that you can hear me because there is a slight problem with my internet today. Last night we had a very dramatic weather event take place. We had lots of thunder and lightning all the way through the night, and I have a feeling it may have caused some damage to the internet connection. So if you have a problem hearing or seeing me today, it might be because of my internet speed. So I do apologize if there is a problem today, but it is out of my hands. It is out of my hands. That means that I have absolutely no control over it. It has nothing to do with me. It is out of my hands. A very murky morning, so murky. Do you want to see the view this morning out of the window? Here it is, a very murky morning. Oh my goodness. So this is this morning after the violent thunderstorms and all the other things happening during the night. It was quite dramatic, and I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't get much sleep last night. I didn't get a lot of sleep because of the noise from the thunder and of course the flashes of lightning as well. So it was a little bit rough, the weather, to say the least. And apparently today we're going to get even more. Apparently there is even more thunder and lightning are approaching this afternoon. So we might get some actually occurring during today's live stream. Who knows? We might actually get some thunder and some lightning during the live stream. A little bit later on we are going to do something different. I am going to be talking to you from a different place. Oh yes, I'm not joking. Yesterday we went out for a lovely walk. Mr. Steve and myself, we were out yesterday, and the weather wasn't too bad. It was raining in the morning yesterday, but in the afternoon it went beautiful. It was beautiful, and it was ever so sunny yesterday. We had a lovely time. Mr. Steve is always willing to get involved with my live streams, even though today Mr. Steve is not here today. I'm very sorry about that. So for those who are missing Mr. Steve, here he is from yesterday. Here is Mr. Steve going for a walk. You will see him in a moment, wandering around. And look, you can see all of the lovely blossom on the trees. Everything is looking quite amazing at the moment, I must say. Everything is looking quite superb. Let me just do some work here. Oh, that's interesting. I'm just getting rid of something there. That's good. I love getting rid of people on the live chat when they think they can cause trouble. I have the power. So there you can see the blossom yesterday, and you can see some of the beautiful yellow rapeseed. But where is Mr. Steve? Where is Mr. Oh, there he is. There's Mr. Steve, but where is he going? Where is Mr. Steve going? Where are you going, Steve? Please show us the way. Ah, there he is. Oh, we're taking a wander through something called cow parsley. Cow parsley. It is a definite, beautiful kind of plant that grows at this time of the year. So there is some cow parsley. And after filming this, I actually had a very bad attack of hay fever. So after filming this sequence, I was sneezing my head off. I felt so unwell. Look at the things I do just to entertain you on a Sunday. I even make myself sick with hay fever. So there is Mr. Steve going off into the distance. Sadly, there is no Mr. Steve today. I'm ever so sorry about that. There's no Mr. Steve here today. However, we will be showing you Mr. Steve in his Spanish pirate costume a little bit later on. So there is something to look forward to. So sadly today, there is no Mr. Steve.
Did it get colder in here? Or is it just me?
I think it's just you, Steve. I think I was a bit late today, wasn't I? Did I actually start late today? I think maybe I did. I'm not sure. I think I was a little bit late. So I do apologise for that. Lots of technical things going on today. I thought I would try something different. That coming later on. Mr. Steve is not here, but he is with us on video a little bit later on. He's currently rehearsing for a musical play that he is appearing in, and that will be starting next week. So he's very busy with rehearsals. I really can't wait for things to get back to normal, to be honest. I can't wait until everything is normal again, until Mr. Steve is back with us regularly on the live chat. Talking of which, oh yes, we have the live chat. Don't forget, you are welcome to say hello on the live chat. And there it is. The live chat is now on the screen. So let's have a look. Who was first on the live chat today? Who was first here today? Let's have a look. Shirin. Hello, Shirin. Congratulations. You were first on the live chat today. So well done. Congratulations. Also, Belarusia is here. Pedro Belmont. Hello, Pedro. Hello from France. A big bonjour to Patricia. Hello to you. Thanks for joining me today. It's live English every Sunday. Every Sunday you can catch the live English stream. And of course, I'm also with you on Wednesday as well. Tomek. Hello, Tomek. I didn't see you last week. Were you here last week? I don't remember seeing you. Hi, everyone, and hi, Mr. Duncan. Thanks a lot, Mika, watching in Japan. Mina is here, watching in Egypt. Hello to you as well. We seem to have a lot of people all around the world watching today. Jung Ching says, hello from China. A big ni hao to China. Lots of people watching, as I said, all around the world. Yes, Belarusia, we had quite a violent storm last night. Lots of rain and lots of thunder and lightning as well. And apparently we're going to get some more later today as well. So I'm not sure what's going to happen there, but during today's live stream, we might get some live thunder and lightning. Sanjam, hello to you. Is it your first time here? Hello also to Anna. Hello, Anna. The view is very melancholic today. Melancholic means slightly sad. So if something is melancholic, the feeling of melancholy is the feeling of sadness, the sense of something sad taking place or occurring. Melancholy. That's a great word. Thank you, Sergio. What beautiful nature. Thank you, Silvana, as well. Is it your first time? If it is your first time, please let me know. Hi, Mr. Duncan. I was attending when the 2 minutes arrived in 30 seconds before starting. I didn't have any internet, unfortunately. Well, I'm glad that you have the internet now. I'm glad you have managed to join us. Lewis, welcome. Welcome to the live chat. And also Lena is here watching in Algeria. Hello, Lena. Nice to see you as well. Han Pham, I think you are watching in Vietnam, if I'm not mistaken. Tan Guy. Hello, Tan Guy. Do you really have a tan? Have you been out in the sun? That's interesting. I like your name, by the way. Tan Guy Blazy. Anam says hi, Mr. Duncan, and hi to you as well. Maria, I haven't seen you for a long time. I'll see you later because my internet connection doesn't work. Well, isn't that strange? Because my internet is also having problems today because we had a very bad thunderstorm last night. Very violent storm. You can describe a storm as being very violent. A storm can be described as violent. So if the wind is strong, or maybe the lightning strikes the ground, or maybe there is damage to property, we can describe that particular storm as a violent storm. Very violent. It causes a lot of disruption or even damage, or in some cases loss of life. Not very nice. Hello to Mohammed. I'm delighted to see you again. Well, so am I. Martha! Hello, Martha. How are you today? I hope you're fine. Saife is here as well. Also, Cool Man. Staying cool in India. At least I hope you are staying cool, because I know it's very hot there at the moment. Ed Nilsson. Mr. Duncan, I'm here again. I follow you every Sunday. Thank you very much, Ed Nilsson. You are welcome. No problem. Den Man is here as well. Hey, I've been learning English for almost a year and I've reached upper intermediate. Is it good? That is very good. Excellent, in fact. Wow, well done. That is incredible. I can't complain about that. And you've done very well to get to that level in just a year. Well done to you. You must have put a lot of hard work into that. Maria is in Colombia. Maria Paula. Hello to you as well. I went to a river to take a walk and I enjoyed the cool air and the clear stream. Thank you, Mika, for sharing that with us today. What type of internet connection do you have? And what is the download and upload rates? Do you mean me? Are you talking to me, barman? My download speed here is around about 70 megabytes, and my upload speed is around about 25 megabytes per second. So I do have very fast internet here. My internet speed is actually quite fast, but unfortunately last night, as I mentioned earlier, we had a very big storm, so I think there might be some damage to maybe the power lines or the phone lines or something, because I had a slight problem with my internet this morning, which is very rare. It doesn't happen very often, but it did today. So I hope you can see me and hear me okay. Hello, my clever and my idle teacher. Do you mean idle like lazy, or do you mean idle like someone or something that is admired? I think it might be the second one. Fatoum is here. Thank you, Fatoum, for joining us today. Tanguy says, Mr. Duncan, thank you for all the things you've done. It's a huge amount of work. Can you speak a little faster for training, please? Well, I can tell you now that on Sunday we normally have Mr. Steve with us. And Mr. Steve, his pace of speaking is much faster than mine. So if you want to see Mr. Steve, you can find him on some of my replays of my past live streams. So Mr. Steve does speak a little quicker. My rate of speaking is natural. So to be honest, this is how I normally speak. So I'm not slowing down just for you. This is how I normally speak. So when I'm talking to people, this is how I normally speak in my day-to-day life. Oh, so many people on the live chat. So let's go back to it, shall we? And then we will take a look at one of my full English lessons. Esona says, hello from London. Oh, Esonal man, you are now watching in Debenhams department store in Oxford Street. Thank you very much. I am very happy today, but I'm very tired as well. I didn't get much sleep last night because of the thunderstorm. There was a big storm last night and it kept me awake. I couldn't get to sleep. Barman says, how fast is your internet? Oh yes, I think I've just answered that, haven't I? Yes, I have very fast internet speed, around about 70 megabytes a second, and my upload speed is around about 25 megabytes a second. It's very fast internet, which is very unusual because I live in the countryside. So it's actually very unusual to have such fast internet in the countryside. Very unusual indeed. Oh, I think we have someone watching in Thailand. Oh, very interesting. Hello to Thailand. Pun Wat Chi. I hope I pronounce your name right. Preeti is here. Hello, Mr. Duncan. What would you suggest to improve my writing skill? Well, just like speaking, it is a good idea to read and also copy. So if there is a style of writing that you like, or a way of using grammar in writing, you can read books, you can get some helpful suggestions from thesauruses. Some thesauruses and also some dictionaries will also give you some very good tips on grammar in writing. Lynn is watching in Korea. It is my first time here. What do you usually teach? Well, Lynn, I normally teach English, English grammar, ways of using English, and of course I'm here to help you improve your listening skills as well. So I think I will show you an example of one of my lessons. This is one of my full English lessons, and this is An excerpt from Full English number 3. Can you see what I'm doing today? I'm preparing to light a fire. I have some old wood and garden debris to dispose of. To start a fire, you need some dry material. This will light easily. Paper is the most common material used, or small pieces of wood will also do the job. The material used to start a fire is called kindling. You use kindling to start the fire. Kindling establishes the fire. There is also the word kindle, which means to start a fire. Kindling is a noun, while kindle is a verb. I will use a match to start the fire. I will strike the match and light the paper. This will start the fire. The paper will ignite. The word ignite comes from the Latin word for fire. We sometimes use the word pyro to describe something related to fire. For example, a person who is addicted to starting fires can be called a pyromaniac. The most obvious parts of a fire are the flames and smoke. Can you see the flames? The movement of the flames cannot be predicted. Flames move randomly. We can use the word lick to describe the movement of a fire's flame. The flames licked around the doorframe. A flame flickers. We can describe the flame on a candle as a flickering flame. A flame can shimmer, flicker, glow, dance. The fire I'm lighting today will be safely contained. This container is called an incinerator. You burn things in an incinerator. The inside of the incinerator will become very hot. To keep the fire under control, I must put this lid on it. Now the fire will burn steadily and remain safe. The small hole in the centre of the lid allows the smoke to escape in a controlled way, just like the chimney on a house would. Fires are fun to watch, but they can also be very dangerous, especially if they get out of control. After the fire has gone out, there is normally some debris left. This grey-looking substance is called ash. This is all that is left of what was burned. You can also put out a fire using water. This action can be described as extinguish. You extinguish the fire. You put the fire out. You have extinguished the flames. The fire has been put out. Steve as live can be on a Sunday afternoon, and it's live English all the way. Look, I've moved. I'm in a different place now. I thought it would be nice to have all of this strange weather behind me today. So I thought we would use the weather as a backdrop. So there it is. You can see the weather is a little calmer than it was last night, although apparently we are supposed to get even more thunderstorms later this afternoon. So that's the reason why I thought I would also set my camera up here. To set something up, to arrange something in preparation for an event. Ah, yes. Did you hear that? I just gave you a definition of the word set. Mr. Steve will be so pleased about that. Would you like to have a look at Mr. Steve now? Here he is. Now, this is Mr. Steve. We're going to have a look at a couple of clips of Mr. Steve. Here is Mr. Steve giving us a little taste of what he will be doing in his show next week.
Hello, Mr. Duncan, and all your lovely viewers all around the world. Today I'm at the rehearsal, so unfortunately I cannot be here to teach English with you today. Hopefully on a Wednesday or next Sunday I will be back, and then we shall teach the English to everyone around the world. But today I am Carlos Santos, the pirate from the Caribbean island of San Marino. Goodbye. Adios.
So there, as promised, because I did promise this last week, I did say that we would have a look at Mr. Steve in his costume. And what do you think of his accent? I'm not sure if it's a good accent or not. I have noticed that sometimes the Spanish accent and the Mexican accent has some similarities. So I think Mr. Steve's accent is more than one accent. I think so. The live chat is up and running. I don't want to ignore you. The live chat is very busy. We are, of course, live on a Sunday afternoon. So let's have a look, shall we? Oh, there it is. There is the live chat. Rosa says, hello, Mr. Duncan. What does it mean to get around? If you get around, it means you appear in many different places. Maybe you travel, or maybe you tend to visit many different places. So lots of people get to see you. You get around. You get around a bit. We also say, yes, he certainly gets around. So to get around is to be in lots of different places over a period of time. You are a person who is seen in public quite a lot. You get around. Sergio, I can watch the fire forever. Did you enjoy that? Yes, there is something strange about fire. When you watch the fire flickering, I don't know what it is. It makes you feel as if you've gone back to Stone Age times. Well, that's what I think anyway. Dima. Hello, Dima. He reminded me of Giovanni in Mind Your Language. Ah, yes, of course. Giovanni was the young he was the young guy who was always trying to get Suzanne Danielle. Yes, I know who you mean. Do you like Mind Your Language? Do you like it? I used to watch that program when I was a kid because it's very old. So I used to watch Mind Your Language when I was just a young boy. It's true, because that program has been around for many years. Let's have a look. Oh, quite a few people now wanting to say hello in the live chat, so let's just have a look, shall we? Yes, that is a Spanish accent. Oh, thank you very much for your support there. Mr. Steve is in his costume, yes, and you will see a little bit more of Mr. Steve later on. Your English is very easy to understand. Do you mean me? Oh, thank you very much for that. Sergio says, I can watch the fire forever. Yes, I think so. As I mentioned just, there is something strange about watching a flickering flame. It always feels as if you want to sort of reach into it. I don't know what it is. I think it must come from our ancestors when we were all living in caves. So I think fire always holds a certain type of fascination for us. I really, really do. I like the movement of the flames, says Sharef. Thank you very much for that. And let's go down the live chat just to see who else is on, because I know there are lots of people today wanting to say hello. Fire out, is it one word? No, fire out isn't one word, it is two words. If you put the fire out, it means you extinguish the fire. The fire is no longer burning. You have put it out. Swan says, hello, Mr. Duncan. Long time no see. I was very busy. Oh, I see. Okay, Swan, if you have a good excuse, then I don't worry too much about it. Carlos makes a very good point. And this is something I want to talk about today. In Brazil at the moment, there is a large national strike taking place. And all of the truck drivers or lorry drivers are now on strike. They are refusing to work. And as a way of protesting, they have blocked all of the main roads around Brazil. So because of that, lots of the food and goods and things that people need, they can't be transported, or they aren't being transported at all. So there is a very strange situation where Brazil has almost been brought to a standstill. So everything has ground to a halt. The word halt means stop. Halt, stop. Barman says, what's the difference between gulf and bay? They are relatively the same thing, to be honest. Although a gulf tends to be a stretch of land by the sea, but normally over a very large area. And a bay is a little bit like a cove. Yes, Mr. Duncan, Mr. Steve did very well. His accent was perfect as a pirate from the Central American islands. Oh, I'm very pleased to hear that. I will pass that on to Mr. Steve. He will be so pleased to hear that. He will be very, very pleased to hear that, I think. So it's live English today, and it's Mr. Duncan. Here I am. Ta-da! Yes, I am live until... Well, I'm not sure how long I'm going to be on today. Maybe another half an hour, maybe another 40 minutes, because Mr. Steve isn't here. Are you missing Mr. Steve? Are you missing Steve as much as I am? I'm really missing him. Here's an interesting phrase. Do you ever hear English people or people who speak English use this expression? Yours truly. Yours truly. If a person says yours truly, they are actually referring to themselves. It is a fun way of referring to yourself. So maybe I could say, hello, welcome to Live English with yours truly. So that means me, yours truly. So you might hear this used in a fun way. So it is a fun way of saying me or I. So yours truly is here today. That means me. I hope that was interesting. Another thing that I want to mention is quite a few people are getting confused with these two words. We have live and life. So they are different words. Of course, this particular word can be pronounced in more than one way. So we can say live or live. Whereas this word can only be pronounced in one way. Life, life, live, live. So sometimes people confuse life with live. I like to see your life English, when in fact it should be live English. So when we say that something is live, it means it is happening at the moment. It is happening at the same moment as you are experiencing it. So something is live, something is happening spontaneously. It is happening at this very moment, just like this live stream. So a live stream, then of course you can live. Live, of course, is the action of being alive. You do things to fill your time. You do things on a day-to-day basis. You live. You live. And life, well, life is the thing that you live. And of course, life can also refer to anything that is alive. So we can talk about life on earth. And life will live. So if something lives, it has life. It lives a life. I hope that clears things up for you. Shall we have a look at something else? Well, here is something I want to show you now. And it is something that, well, I've already mentioned that I do lots and lots of different things on a Sunday. But now I'm going to show you today's mystery idioms. Now, normally we have mystery idioms every Sunday. And normally I give you 2. Guess what? Today I am going to give you 2 mystery idioms. And here is the first one. So here is the first mystery idiom. But what is it? Do you know what it is? So there is the first mystery idiom. And here is the second mystery idiom. Just say what you see. Say what you see. And the first one, again. But all you have to do is tell me what you see on the screen. They are well-known English expressions. I'm sure a lot of you will know this one. I have a feeling. And here is the second one. But what is it? What is this mystery idiom? And also this one as well. If you think you know, please let me know on the live chat. Talking of which, we mustn't forget about the live chat because lots of people are now joining me and it's so nice to see you here. I do appreciate you giving your time to me on a Sunday because I know for many people it is a rest day. So I know many people like to take a rest on a Sunday. So I do appreciate you giving your time to me. Live chat. Let's see what's going on the live chat because I have a feeling a lot of people want to say hello. And I'm right. You are the best. Thank you, Anas, for that. Martha has made a guess on the mystery idiom. Also, Belarusia as well. Halt is a German word. I believe it is, yes. I think the word halt originated in German. I think you are right there. Thank you, Swan, for your guess. Louis says the second is, yes, the second mystery idiom. Thank you for your guess. Also, Nicole says, do you have a little toy train? I don't have one now, but when I was a child, I used to have a toy train. I actually did have one. and it used to go round and round on a little track. So yes, I actually did in the past. I have had a toy train. It's true. Halt is also used in French. Yes, I believe it is as well. It's amazing how many words in general language are used in more than one language. So yes, I think so. Mr. Steve is natural in his costume. Is he really? Thank you for your lovely comment there. Magella says, I read my first book in English every day, and when I wake up, I immediately take that book in my hand and I read it for at least 10 minutes. Learning must bring joy. Well, I won't disagree with you there, Marijla. I don't disagree with any of that. You are right. I just need to do something here. Just give me a moment. I read my first book in English. Oh, I see. So recently you started reading in English. Oh, I didn't realise that. Oh, that's good. Thank you very much for your comments today. And now we are going to have a look at another one of my live English lessons. But first of all, you might know that Mr. Steve is a man of many talents. And this is true. He definitely is. But did you know that Mr. Steve can also play the piano? And he plays it so well. Would you like to see Mr. Steve playing the piano? Okay, here we go. Mr. Steve, Mr. Steve, you're not exactly playing the piano there, are you?
But this is how you practice. You don't practice with the keys, you practice with the lid down.
I don't think that's true.
Yes, it's true, yes. You see, with the lid up, well, I prefer to practice with the lid down.
We often use the phrase easier said than done when discussing a possible venture or goal. It would appear that it is easier to say something than actually do it. But why is that? I'm sure you have done it in the past. I know I have. We come up with a big plan or idea that we intend to do at some point, but sadly it never comes to fruition. The word fruition means be made real or completed. It would appear that it is much easier to say you'll do something than to actually do it. The effort needed to start doing something is immense. The two things you really need are determination and motivation. You must be determined and motivated. To be determined is the feeling of being resolute and strong-willed. Motivation is the force that pushes you into doing something. To feel motivated is to be encouraged and spurred on. The driving force that gets you to your goal is motivation. Without determination and motivation, it would appear to be true that some things are easier said than done. Can you see what I'm doing here? I'm in the process of unboxing something. To unbox is to take something out of a box or package. Normally something new is boxed or packaged. It comes in a box or package. A large bulky item will often be boxed so as to make it easier to carry and protect the contents. I will now unbox this item. I will remove the contents from the box. We can also say that I'm unpacking or taking the item or items out of the box. Can you work out what this box has in it? This is my new patio table. It is made of metal and painted so it won't get damaged or go rusty from the rain. I need to assemble the table. It has to be put together. I need to construct it before it can be used. Before I can take the table out, I must undo the seal at the top of the box. I need to cut through these pieces of sticky tape, and then I can remove the disassembled table from the box. These are the instructions for building the table. But to be honest with you, I rarely ever look at the instructions. I like to put things together or learn how to work something without looking at the instructions at all. It's more fun that way. The table itself is very heavy and is not easy to remove from the box. After a little pulling and tugging, I managed to get it out. The next thing I need to do is unpack the parts from the packaging. So these are all the bits and pieces I need to make my lovely table. How well will I do constructing it? Find out later. As you know, I love receiving your comments and questions, and today I would like to answer another one of your questions. This question comes from Javier, who lives in Spain, and asks, what are the differences between the words across and through? Both of these words relate to movement. To move across means to move from one side to another. As a preposition, across shows the position of movement. She ran across the street. As an adverb, across can be used as an expression of measurement. In length, the bridge is 100 feet across. The word across can also show position. He lived across the road from me. A crossword answer that reads horizontally is defined as being across. The word through means to move in and out of something. For example, if you go into a forest and come out the other side, then you have gone through the forest. So through describes the action of moving among something. To move forwards among trees means you are moving through the trees. As you move, you pass things. To move through a forest, or through bushes, or through a crowd of people. You can move through something, such as a doorway. To step from one side to another is to move through. To go through or fall through. To look from one side of something out to another is look through. He looked through the window to see if anyone was at home. To make a hole in something means that you go through or you have gone through. To inspect or study something in part or whole is to go through. I need to go through these essays and check them for mistakes. To be through means to finish or end something. The thing in question is finished and over. I'm going to tell my girlfriend that we are through. In a contest, the word through means to be chosen for the next round or heat. Mr. Duncan, you have made it through to the final. So, across relates to direction, while through tends to relate to movement and objects. Thank you for your question, Javier. And if you have a question for me to answer, then please feel free to drop me a line at my email address. It's a Sunday afternoon, 5 minutes past 3 o'clock here in the UK, and it's live English all the way with me, Mr. Duncan. If it's your first time here, by the way, please let me know. Please tell me, Mr. Duncan, it's my first time here today, and I will be ever so pleased. Well, I was wondering whether or not we were going to get some thunder and lightning this afternoon, but it looks as if we're not. So it looks as if we are safe for the time being. Safe for now. Today's questions include, have you ever had an embarrassing moment? Now, this is something I haven't talked about yet, so I'm going to talk about it now. Have you ever had an embarrassing moment of time? Something that has embarrassed you. An embarrassing moment. Have you ever had an embarrassment? On the live chat, Belarusia. I love this story, by the way. I love this so much. Many years ago, I watched a long-haired child with a woman, and I told her, "What a beautiful girl." And she replied, "He's a boy." I felt very embarrassed. Yes, embarrassment. It is something that we all feel from time to time, especially when we do something by accident, we say the wrong thing, or maybe we make a mistake. Or maybe we just do something very, very foolish. It is possible to feel very, very embarrassed. So, could you please tell me what is the most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to you? I always remember on my first day at junior school, my first day at school, and we went into the big hall, and we all sat down together, but I was standing up, and one of my new friends pulled me to sit down. He says, "Sit down, Duncan." But unfortunately he pulled on my shorts, and my shorts came down in front of everyone. So that was my first day at school. My first day. It wasn't junior school, it was actually the primary school. That's when it was. So my first day of primary school, I actually had my shorts pulled down in front of everyone in the school, and that was a little bit embarrassing. But can you beat that? Can you think of a more embarrassing moment that you've had? Some people might say an embarrassing moment might be appearing on the live stream. Yes, you might be right there. You might be right. So, embarrassing moments, please share them with us. I would be ever so pleased to hear about them. Nicole says, I am very motivated to learn English and I work at it daily for many years, and you contribute to it. Thank you, Mr. Duncan. Thank you to Mr. Steve as well. You are kind. Thank you very much. Sharef says, my face becomes red so many times. Yes, normally when we become embarrassed, normally people will go red. Yes, they will blush. Blush is the word you are looking for. Blush. So if you become embarrassed, you will blush. Blush. It's a great expression. So it means you become very embarrassed. It is a physical reaction to embarrassment or stress. So that is what it is. Antonio says, even though my first language is Portuguese, since I am Brazilian, I am also an English teacher in Brazil. Thank you, Antonio, for that. That's very kind of you to say so. If you are brassy, you are never embarrassed. Yes, a person who is very bold, they have no inhibitions. They can't become embarrassed about anything or by anything. Yes, you are right. That's a very good word. Brassy. A person who is very strong-willed, and a person who never feels embarrassed. They are described as being shameless. They are very brassy, very bold. Carlos says, it is embarrassing when you offer your seat on the bus to a woman because you think she is pregnant, but she is not. So you are saying, Carlos, that you are offering your seat to a fat woman, but you think she's pregnant. Yes, that might be very embarrassing for both you and also the woman as well. I think so. Tom X says, many years ago I accidentally swore in front of hundreds of people. I wasn't aware that the microphone I was holding in my hand was switched on. If a microphone is active or switched on, we can say that it is hot. So a hot microphone means that the microphone is actually working and it will pick your voice up. So you must be very careful if you are holding a hot microphone in your hand. Which part of England do you live, Mr. Duncan? Abdul Mesit asks, I live in a place called Shropshire. That is the area. I live in England. And the town is called Much Wenlock. It's a lovely place. Very sleepy. Very lovely. Sharef says, I become embarrassed. I will blush when I'm invited to talk in front of people. You are right, Sharef, because one of the hardest things to ever do is to talk in front of many, many people. If you have to give a speech, it can be very, very hard to do. Tian Oran says, many years ago after school, the history teacher had got on the bus and we were talking about the things I said. Your children have all grown up. She answered, I'm newly married. In other words, she didn't have any children. I think, yes, that might be very embarrassing. If you say to someone that they have children and they don't, That might be a very embarrassing moment. Root is a female name. I once attempted to speak to a man in a bank where I worked, and the name's account was Root. And I said to her, come here to write her signature. And the man answered, I am Root. So yes, sometimes names in English as well can be confused. So some names in the English language can be given to men and women. A good example is Robin. Robin. So Robin, yes, I know, Robin is a type of bird, but it can also be a name, a given name. So Robin can be a female or a male as a name. Yes, it's true. Robin. I was embarrassed when an old English lady called out, but the girl I see. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Did you mistake someone for someone's grandmother or someone's relative? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Hopefully I will get a clear answer later. This winter during swimming in the pool, I realised that my swimming underwear tore in the bottom area. Oh my God, that is so... oh yes, you're right. That is very, very embarrassing. Oh, I must say, that is really, really embarrassing. I can't think of anything more embarrassing than that. That is very, very embarrassing. I once forgot my zipper was open on my trousers. That is also very embarrassing. I tell you what else is embarrassing. What else is embarrassing is when your live chat goes wrong on the screen and you can't put it right. I'm getting embarrassed right now by this. Oh, come on, what's going on? That's better. Okay, we're okay now. My computer sometimes has a mind of its own. Yes, I forgot that the zipper was open on my trousers, and I was walking with my daughter to school when a woman stopped me and said, "The zipper on your trousers is open. We can see your underwear." That is very embarrassing indeed. Quoshi or Quoxi Dao says, 2 years ago I missed my flight because of a misunderstanding with the time zone. The next day I went to our company without being aware, and then the travel agency called the company to ask why I was absent. So it sounds as if you got confused by the time difference. I think so. So yes, it might cause a little bit of embarrassment. Blush means to go red on your face. Yes, it does. If you blush, it means your face will go red because you feel embarrassed. You are right. So your face will go very red. You will become embarrassed. You will become flushed. You become very red. You seem embarrassed. It's true. I beg your pardon for my many mistakes. Don't worry about that. Making mistakes is part of life, so don't worry about it. Not at all. My embarrassing moment was talking to a stranger. I thought my friend was walking beside me. Oh, I see. So you were talking to someone and you thought it was your friend, but in fact it was just a stranger. Yes, I've done that. I do that sometimes with Mr. Steve. So maybe if I'm waiting in a queue or maybe if I'm waiting outside the bank and I'm talking to Steve and I'm saying, oh, Steve, what do you think about this? What do you think about that? And then when I look round, Mr. Steve has gone. He's walked off. And I've been standing there in front of other people talking to myself like a crazy person. So, yes, that's very embarrassing. Very embarrassing indeed. Thank you, Mika, for your lovely stories. So when have you ever been embarrassed about something or by something? Have you ever been embarrassed? What is the difference between bored, anxious, embarrassed and annoyed? Well, to be honest with you, they are all very different things. They are all very different. So they all mean very different things. So they aren't really connected. So if you are bored, it means you feel tired of something. If you are angry, it means you feel annoyed by something. And what is the other one? Anxious means worried, and embarrassed means ashamed. Ashamed. Can I just say hello to JC Geordie? Oh, hello JC Geordie. Thank you for your donation on the live chat. That's very kind of you. How lovely. Thank you very much. Thank you very much also to Charef, who asks about the zipper. This is a problem that many men have, to be honest. This is a problem that many men get when they are putting their trousers on. Sometimes they will forget to zip up the fly on their trousers. So sometimes they will leave the fly open. The fly. It's the thing that you zip on your trousers. And some men leave it open. It's true. And it might be very, very embarrassing. Very embarrassing indeed. So you have to be very careful. Very careful what you're doing with that. Oh dear me. Thank you, JC Geordie, for your lovely, lovely donation on the live chat. Thanks a lot. That's very kind of you. I'm overwhelmed. Thank you very much. Lots of people want to say hello and they want to give me their embarrassing stories. It's okay, no problem. You are welcome. Anna says we can learn from our mistakes and also we can learn from other people's mistakes as well. The most embarrassing situation for me is being abroad and not being able to communicate with people. Yes, Carlos, I do understand that feeling. I understand it very much because when I was living in China, sometimes I would get into a situation where I was with lots of people who would only speak Chinese and I didn't understand what they were saying. And sometimes I would feel very embarrassed by it. Very embarrassed indeed. So yes, it's true. If you are in a place where you don't know the language, it can be very, very embarrassing. You are right. I was embarrassed to know that I was one stupid person who paid for travelling by trains in Italy. Oh, I see. So what do you mean? Do you mean it's free? Can you travel on the trains for free in Italy? That sounds very interesting. I'm very interested to find out more about that. TJN says in primary school I grew up early or earlier than my lover and I grew very tall and I told him we can't be lovers anymore because I'm taller than you. It is very strange if you see two people together, and especially a man and a woman, if they are in a relationship and you see them together, and if the woman is taller than the man, I think sometimes it looks a little weird, a little unusual, or maybe a little bit embarrassing. So men quite often, and I know what I'm talking about here, men can be very, very obsessed with their height. Now, I'm lucky because I'm very, very tall, so I don't have that problem. But I know that some men, some of my friends, they have a little bit of a problem with the fact that they are not very tall. They are quite short. So yes, it can be a big problem. It really can. When she says she loves you, or when you say you love her but she doesn't love you. Oh yes, that also can be very embarrassing as well. Yes, you are right. I don't know what's happening with my live chat today. It seems to have a mind of its own. I don't know why. One day I saw a lady with her skirt lifted on her back. Not his, hers. I saw a lady with her skirt lifted on her back, and she was walking along showing her underwear. I stopped her and told her. I bet she was very embarrassed by that. I think so. In primary school, oh yes, this is the one that I read just. So yes, in primary school I became taller than my boyfriend. So I told him that we can't be lovers anymore. He must have been very, very embarrassed. I think so. Hello, Mr. Duncan from Cindy Chan. Hello, Cindy. Dinesh is here. Where are you watching at the moment, Dinesh? This is my first class. Is it really? Thank you very much. How tall are you, Mr. Duncan? I am just over 183 centimetres. 183. Just over 6 foot tall, or 6 feet tall. Jeff Her says, I just talked with the wrong person and it is not such an embarrassment. I have held a girl's hand and I thought it was my girlfriend, but then I realised that it wasn't, and I felt very, very embarrassed. And when I looked back, my girlfriend was laughing. Thank you, Jeff, for sharing your embarrassing moment. We'll have some more of those later on. If you want to share your embarrassing moment with me, feel free to do so. But right now we're going to have a look at another one of my lessons. And then after that, we will see a little bit more of Mr. Steve, dressed in his costume for his upcoming show. This is Full English number 23.
Hello, my name's George Clooney, and you're watching Mr. Duncan's Full English. You'd better not have a problem with that, or I'll get the missus to sue you.
The missus? The wife? They say that eating fruit is good for you. There are so many different types of fruit to choose from. However, for me, my favourite fruit has to be the mango. Its sweet aromatic juice contained within that soft and succulent flesh is irresistible to me. I first started eating mangoes regularly whilst I was living in China. The mangoes there grow in the southern region, which has a warm climate. A perfect place for them to grow. Sadly, here in England, the climate is not suitable for mango plantations. They have to be imported from warmer climes. This particular mango has come all the way from Ivory Coast in northwest Africa. Mangoes are available in most supermarkets here, although their quality can vary. This particular mango is nice and ripe. It is ready to be eaten. If you want to know how ripe a mango is, just give it a squeeze. I can tell that this mango is perfectly ripe and is ready to be eaten. Do you like eating fruit? Which type of fruit is your favourite? Can you see the pink flower behind me? It is called a rhododendron. Whenever I think of this flower, I always find myself remembering my time at school. Not because we grew them there, but because whenever we had to sit an English spelling test, they would always ask us to spell the word rhododendron. As you can see, it is not a very easy word to spell, and I always got it wrong. Still, the rhododendron does look nice when it's in full bloom. It's nice to look at, but not so nice to spell. Here is another lovely plant. However, unlike the rhododendron, this one is still growing. I've put in this particular plant for two reasons. First, it has a lovely appearance, and second, it has a special name that caught my eye. For those who don't recognise it, this is a Sonora cardunculus. I like the fact that dunk is in the name. This plant is also known as an artichoke thistle. As its name suggests, the flowers formed on this plant are large and thorny. The main flower itself is a majestic purple. I really can't wait to see this plant come into bloom. Not least of all because bees, butterflies and birds are attracted to this plant. Fortunately for me, the cardunculus grows very quickly.
Mr. Duncan, what are you doing?
I'm watching this pot. I'm waiting for the water inside it to boil.
But why? Haven't you got anything better to do?
I want to see the pretty bubbles in the water as it comes to the boil.
You bonehead. Haven't you heard of that well-known proverb?
Which proverb do you mean? Many a mickle makes a muckle? A stitch in time saves nine? Look before you leap? Don't look a gift horse in the mouth?
No, Mr. Duncan. The proverb is, a watched pot never boils. If you wait for something to occur, it will take longer for it to happen. Or at least it will seem to.
Oh, I see. So in fact, it is better for me to walk away and leave the pot to boil in its own time. Let whatever is happening happen when it's ready.
Exactly. Sometimes waiting for a thing to happen can be frustrating. It is much better to forget about it and let it happen in its own time. Remember, Mr. Duncan, a watched pot never...
Squeeze! 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 No matter how much I squeeze this tube of toothpaste, nothing will come out. It would be safe to say that this toothpaste tube is empty. Do you notice how I pronounce the word tube? The first part of the word sounds like chair. It is common in British English to pronounce the TU sound as ch. Other words include tune, tutor, tuber. There are, of course, exceptions to this. The word tunnel is still pronounced with the hard T sound. In American English, the hard T is often used in most words beginning with TU. Words such as tube, tune, tutor, tuber are all pronounced with the hard T. This is one good example of the subtle differences that exist between American and British English pronunciation. Take a close look at this branch. Can you see what's happened here? It looks as if it's been pecked at by something. Well, it has. These marks were made by a woodpecker, a great spotted woodpecker to be precise. This branch has been adopted as a feeding area by the bird. It picks nuts from the nearby bird feeder and brings them to this point, where it places the peanut into a small hole so as to make it easier to peck at. The spectacle of a woodpecker feeding this closely is nice to watch. However, over time, this feeding routine will irreparably damage the tree. The branch will eventually die as the bird digs deeper and deeper into it. So, there is an upside to this, in that I get to view something that is very unusual in my garden, while the downside is that my lovely damson tree will end up being severely damaged. I don't blame the woodpecker. After all, it's got to eat. As we come towards the end of May, June is just around the corner. Yes, this is the final Sunday live English stream. And, well, it's been a good one, even though today I'm suffering from hay fever. Yes, my nose is very itchy. I have been sneezing all morning, and also I've been preparing this live stream. So lots of things going on today, even though I'm feeling under the weather with my hay fever. Belarusia asked, how is your cardunculus? Well, I have some bad news. Now, my lovely cardunculus, sadly at the moment, is not very well because we had lots of snow. You might remember we had 3 lots of snow fall over different days, and unfortunately the lovely cardunculus was all crushed and squashed and broken. So now it is trying to grow again, unfortunately. So my poor little cardunculus is suffering at the moment. So thanks for asking about it. I do appreciate it when you ask about my flowers. I do appreciate it. Let's have a look at the live chat. Let's see what's going on the live chat, shall we? Okay, here it is. I like the watermelon, says Nicole. I love mangoes. As I mentioned just in my full English lesson, I really do like mangoes very much. Very delicious. Quite delicious. And very, very fruity. So no, I'm not a big fan of watermelons. I don't like watermelons. I don't like them. I don't know why. I think it's all of the seeds, because watermelons have lots of tiny little seeds inside, and you have to spit them out. You have to spit them out, and I don't like that. Durian. Oh yes, the durian or durian. The durian is good for you. Thank you, Kuoksi. Yes, I remember from my days in Malaysia, when I used to visit Malaysia, the durian was on sale in many places. But the only problem is it has a very bad smell. They smell terrible. It smells like rotting flesh. So no, I'm not a big fan of the smell of the durian. but I do like the taste of the flesh inside. It's very lovely. Deepak says, where are you from, Mr. Duncan? The one who is teaching live. You mean me? I am from England. I am in England right now, talking to you live. Unfortunately, I have an allergy to mango. Oh, Mika, I'm sorry to hear that. If I eat mango, then I will have a strange feeling in my mouth. Virginia says, congratulations, Mr. Duncan. I like your lessons very much. Thank you, Virginia. Virginia Trovau. Thank you very much for that. Charef says, are those your pets? Do you mean the birds? No, the birds aren't my pets. They are wild animals. And did you see the baby woodpecker? A little tiny baby woodpecker taking a bath in my garden. Wasn't it lovely? So cute. So let's have a look before we go. We will be going soon. I will give you the answers to the mystery idioms. In fact, we'll do that right now. Here come the answers to the mystery idioms. So there is the first one, but what is the answer? This is an expression that's used quite a lot, especially in politics. Especially in politics. Gravy train. Gravy train. The meaning is to make a lot of money for doing very little. A cushy or easy situation where little effort brings great reward. The BBC gravy train. Very controversial. And the second mystery idiom, there it is. Many people got this right. Well done. Walk on eggshells. The meaning, to do something cautiously so as not to cause offence or create problems. You don't want to upset someone, so you must walk on eggshells. Open-minded says, what does it mean? What does it mean when you say to no avail? It means the thing that you tried to do or the thing that you tried to change was pointless. Pointless. You weren't able to succeed or you weren't able to achieve it. You tried, but it didn't happen. You did it, but it all came to nothing. To no avail. You have very nice pronunciation. Thank you very much. Thank you, Vitas, for that. That is very nice of you. Let's have another look at one of Mr. Steve's. I'm laughing here because I can see Steve on my screen at the moment. Here's Mr. Steve with another one of his short videos showing us the character that he'll be playing next week.
Buenas noches, señorita and señora. I am Carlos Santos. Unfortunately, Mr. Steve cannot be with you this afternoon on Mr. Duncan's live lesson. He has been taken over by the character Carlos Santos from the Caribbean island of San Marino. Hopefully, he will be back to normal in a few days or a week's time, and then he will be able to help out Mr. Duncan in the live lessons. So for now, I bid you all farewell. Adios.
Oh my goodness. So there is Mr. Steve, and he will be appearing in his show next week, playing a Spanish pirate. I hope you enjoyed that. Steve was in such a hurry this morning, and can I just say thank you very much to Steve, because he's had such a busy day today. He was busy getting all of his costume ready because he had one of the big rehearsals today, so he went along for that, and he recorded the messages just before I came on. That's one of the reasons why I'm slightly late today. So I was late today because of that. It's been a very, very busy day today. So the weather outside, well, I'm looking outside now, but there is no rain, there is no thunder, and there is no lightning. So I thought we were going to have a storm this afternoon because last night the weather was terrible. I woke up this morning feeling so tired because I didn't get much sleep last night because of the noise from the thunder. It kept waking me up. So I woke up maybe 5 or 6 times last night because of the thunder. So it wasn't very good, really. I am going now. It's time to say goodbye, and I hope you have enjoyed today's live stream. I hope you have enjoyed everything in this particular live stream. I will be back on Wednesday. Don't forget, I am, of course, here twice a week. You can catch me on Sunday and also on Wednesday. On Sunday, I'm here at 2 p.m. UK time. And on Wednesday, I am here at 10 p.m. with my late and live English. On the live chat, JC Geordie says you didn't get much sleep or any sleep. I did get some sleep, but not much. I feel very tired today. Oh no, teacher, I want more. No, it's time to go. It's time for Mr. Duncan to go and blow his nose because I'm suffering from hay fever today. Very badly, in fact. Have you ever been to India? If not, I will welcome you. Thank you, Deepak, for that. No, I've never been to India. Never. I've never been there. Thank you for today, your effort and your time. You are welcome. No problem. It's my pleasure, as usual. So I will see you on Wednesday. Don't forget, I will be here late and live on Wednesday. And you can catch me during the week. Also, you can also, if you want to, you can follow me on Facebook. And also, you can also send a live donation on PayPal as well, if you feel like it. If you can, I will be very, very grateful. Thank you very much. So I'm going now. This is Mr. Duncan in the birthplace of English saying thanks for your company, and I will see you on Wednesday. Don't forget, 10 o'clock UK time, very late and very live. And of course, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. As usual, every time I finish my live stream, I always say these words. Ta-ta for now.